episode 1132 of Hard Factor. It is Thursday, January 26th, 2023. Thank you for cheating on the news with us today. Pat's got all the top political and entertainment news that you need to know in this cup of coffee in the big time.
Pokemon. Gotta
Pokemon.
catch them all.
Oh, nice.
The political stories and news stories, but you'll be able to because we got them all.
Oh, I thought you may have meant that there was a Pokemon story in there because entertainment. But
if there was, wouldn't cover it. Pokemon's for children.
We caught all the JPal pay girls and the high.
Oh yeah.
We Pokemon,
Okay, so
Pokemon the shit out of those girls.
So Will, you don't know this,
bad
but
girls.
no, I already went and reviewed the tape a little bit. I saw what you guys were up to. I need to get the JPay login. It looks great.
yeah. So listeners, if you remember the members of the Patreon, pop the clutch, cheering up. You listen to the Hive Hour. This week's Hive Hour, we were not going to make it about our female pen pals because we felt like we don't have enough show here. They haven't gotten back to us.
We were wrong.
There's enough show already.
But it just organically became about our
wrong.
female pen pals. And next week we have video conferences scheduled with 3 or 4 different incarcerated women. So hopefully those will happen.
Well,
We
one
had
got
to-
back
we had
to
to-
us and says that, she's down to chat, down to take our money, down to do whatever, basically. But we have to fill out some applications because
Is there nudity in these
apparently
chats? Or-
not just any schmo can schedule.
No,
a,
somebody will have to give their real identity.
Well,
Yes.
time out, Wes. That's just her and that prison because the other girls didn't even require a verification at all.
Yeah.
Now,
shit. You can go to loose
some of the
rule prison.
some of the girls don't require to be on the visitation list. Some of the girls do require they're on the visitation. So we sent an email to the ones that do require it. We're like, hey, howdy, this is Tex. Tex wants to get on the visitation list. How's he do that? Talk to his girl here, and she told us some prisons you have to fill out forms. Others. We're in with this one video, but we need to send her a picture because she doesn't want to just chat with like a psycho uggo.
Of course, yeah.
So we got to
4 fat white
We're gonna
guys.
have to meet him halfway.
Yeah.
Well, patreon.com/hardfactor to learn more because it is a fascinating world diving into the prison pen pal world.
Tex, who is us, has been busy with the girls.
An El Paso rancher named Tex.
That's right.
And then we'll transition that to us somehow, or one of us will just become Tex. So either way, it's going to be.
I brought my podcast mates to the chat.
These guys are my sober
Rustle
coaches.
them up. Bring them along with me.
It's great. It's fun stuff though.
I mean, for real, every time we're like, there's no way this woman's real. She's real, and she's single, guys. So if you're a single man, you might want to join one of the groups.
Prison pen pals. It's not
Some
a bad.
nines.
Make sure
there are some
make
nines
sure-
in prison.
Make sure it's not a murderer though. That's it's a
And
good
Will,
rule
do
of
yourself a favor. Put if you have the JPay app on your phone, turn off the notifications because it'll ding you. And if it's at the wrong time, you're gonna have some questions to answer.
Yes.
That's
have to
during
explain.
if that's during movie night.
Yeah.
No, honey,
There's
for
Hannah Campbell
journalism.
from Idaho Corrections.
Oh no, I got it. Oh,
Why is she
I was
calling you
I was on the
Big
first
Tex?
episode where we did the texts, and I remember how they go.
Oh, yeah.
I've got both incredible and terrifying science news on deck. Mark's got a zoo catastrophe in the
right.
hole.
Zootastrophe.
Zootastrophe, and Wes has a naughty teacher in the last period of today's episode.
Correct.
Very
yeah.
naughty. Very naughty. Okay, speaking of patreon.com/hardfactor, trivia. Next trivia night is Friday, February the 3rd, 9 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be amazing as always. Always one of the most fun nights of the month.
And
Trivia.
we're going to try to get ahead of it. I'm going to put this out here one last time. We're going to try to get ahead of it and figure out if my brother is going to join ahead of time. So maybe we can have more than one game for hot, live, over-under movie gambling action
over-under.
afterwards. But I'm going to put this out there one more time. If there's a programmer in the Hive, someone who's halfway
There's
decent with a computer programmer,
plenty.
I really need help because I need help building a really simple program to take bets for this game, and it could be a big thing. So reach out to me if there's a programmer who wants to help out. If you help out and you're not in the top tier of the Patreon, which is Send the Card tier, we will put you in the top tier of the Patreon. A free month, at least, for your help.
If you run Brendan's over under how many movies can he name game for us, that's definitely free trivia.
Also, you will fall on the sword legally until we figure it out. You will fall on the sword program.
Well, it's such a small
Must have an
you have to
LLC.
be ratted by the people playing the game.
No, not when we make it big. I'm saying no. We're fine in the trivia
right.
nights, but once we push it to the larger platform, you will fall on the sword program.
You're going to be shine to our Puffy. But when you get out, you'll be taken care of.
Could be an expensive free membership.
Yes.
The Fatathon also begins Valentine's Day through Memorial Day to get ready for Fat Boy Summer. So the next Fatathon, if you want to lose some weight with us.
I'll be dropping a half pack with Wes before trivia, and that is going to be sending the cart tier and above from now on. Just
Oh, yeah.
Does that mean you're not coming on the trivia?
probably not. Yeah.
That's
the deal.
Yeah. You heard
Yeah,
correct.
Wes gives a half pack for every trivia he skips. Well, starting this year.
Yeah.
I feel like you really
Starting now.
I feel like you really like the gambling part of it afterwards, but it's all good.
Maybe I'll jump for the gambling part.
Yeah.
It's electric. And you won't be drunk. You'll be the only one I'm taking money from that's not hammered because it gets really complicated when these guys
Taking money from drunks.
they're doing their own math in their own head
loud.
about how much
It is
they're
a loud
It's
wagering.
fun hanging out.
Gambling
Bunch of drunks
session.
Sober.
Oh, yeah.
Very fun.
Anyway, let's do the news. What do you guys feel about that?
Yes.
Love it.
Yeah. Cup of coffee in the big tank.
All right, boys, the Biebs. Justin Bieber, not a fan. But, hey, I'll tell you this. He did something massive yesterday, or at least it was announced yesterday. This is huge.
Remember that book? Massive.
No, but do you remember?
Sounds like
do you
extreme.
Yeah, it was like a gay porn thing or something.
Oh,
do you-
the
oh,
Japanese thing?
Japanese
Mondo?
thing,
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
massive.
Oh, yeah.
Well, do you remember in college when we could only get porn from LimeWire and we just kept downloading out of control cum shots with that really great music in the back? Some guy made a song. Out of control, dude.
That was a great. It was a little like you said. It was called Out of Control Cum Shots, and it was one of the best mashups I've
What
ever
makes
seen.
a cum shot out of control? I mean, I
Well,
feel
you
like
can't
you
aim
gotta
it.
watch this video.
You can't
And
aim it.
The amount.
right.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, you
some
got
of
it in
these
my
did.
eye. Well,
Out of control.
you should
It
have,
was like it had
you
this
were
techno
warned.
beat, and you're just like,
Yeah.
it was good.
And every time he said out of control, which was both the pre-chorus and the chorus, it would cut to a cum shot that was out of control, and you'd be like, oh, wow.
It's just Peter North.
That was out of control.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if the
was in a
song or the
Yeah.
video came first, but yeah, who knows?
It's like him, and then 3 other clips, and then him, and then he.
Where were we? Justin Bieber.
Mark,
Okay.
Luis.
For
wants you to do
$1.99, I don't know.
He donated live and wants you to do a Hispanic accent.
I'll do parts of it in Spanish.
We are, if you're a longtime listener to the show, we're broadcasting the show live every evening, 7:15 p.m. Eastern. So if you want to get the show early, you can watch us live on YouTube. The show still comes out midnight every night, just
Hey,
like normal.
thanks for the
But
tip,
you can join the
Luis.
taping, which is very
Thanks
fun.
for the tip there, Luis. Yeah.
Anyway, Luis gave Mark a tip, and if you tip us during the show,
Vato.
we might say what you want us to say. We're that kind of whore. Bieber. We're talking about Bieber, guys.
Oh,
okay.
Tex could be Hispanic. Yeah.
We'll talk about Tex later. Let's talk about Tex now. We got to get a hat. Who's got a hat for the photo?
Spoiler alert. I was actually a Texican.
Yeah, I'm a Texican. You go to school today? All day? I heard it different. Okay,
All right.
Justin Bieber did something really interesting. He sold his music catalog, the entirety of it. The entirety of it. This normally doesn't happen. The way, real quick, a little inside baseball about music. There's 3 ways you can make money on music, right? There's the song, which has 2 ways on it: the songwriter share and the publisher share. A song is split right down the middle as soon as it's written. Half of it, the publisher share, can be sold really easily. That's what it's meant to be there for. It's meant to be dealt. Hey, I'm your manager. I got a piece of your publishing. I'm going to sell it. Right. The songwriter share usually can't be sold. Usually that's just yours, right? That's a protection for the songwriters because musicians are losers and they'll sell their entire soul for a bag of heroin. The other way you can make money, the third way, is your master recordings, right? So you record on a track. Whoever owns that recording, paid for the recording, owns the master recording. And if you're a recording artist at a record label, you get a royalty. Or as artists get later in their career, they pay for the recordings themselves and they own the whole fucking thing. Bieber sold everything, absolutely everything, for $200 million. So that's rare. A lot of times people will sell their publishing, often. Most of the time they'll sell half their publishing, sometimes all their publishing. Sometimes they'll figure out the legal workaround where they can sell their publishing and their songwriter share. He did that.
What's
Plus,
his age, though?
Bieber's 28, 29, something
Yeah,
like
he
that.
feels like he's gonna make more, and he just wants 200 mil.
Okay, Will, so
But he
good
doesn't
point.
have baby. Oh.
Yeah, but he's got Despacito.
Well, yeah, not anymore.
Well,
he doesn't.
everyone has Despacito. I mean, there were 900 people on that remix.
Yeah,
But-
but it was Bieber.
Bieber has like 9 number ones, something like that, like 28 top 10s.
I feel like he undersold because you haven't told us the amount yet, but you're about to, right?
200 million.
200 mil.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's
here's
not enough.
Here's what people are saying, Mark. That could be true. So previously, landmark sales like this, A, have almost never been the entirety of all rights, but B, usually only go to older cats. like Bruce Springsteen, right, or the Rolling Stones, or something
Michael
like that.
Jackson buying the
Older
Beatles.
music is worth more money. It's usually played on the radio more often, right? It's ubiquitous part of our society. As you get deeper into the 2000s, stars become less able to get as big as the stars were before the internet. So this is pretty rare for a guy at this point in his career to be able to get this much money. I want to ask you guys a question. There's one of two things happening here. One, it could be related to his Ramsey Hunt syndrome. Remember he announced he had that last year.
Right, he's cashing out. Done.
Paralyzes part of your face. He had to cancel the tour. Two, this is what I was thinking after
He's got a horrific story coming out about him.
By the way, that's Ramsey Hunt.
Yeah.
Right.
Two,
it can give you a facial paralysis.
Paralyzes.
On the side, right.
He's a Shauna Ray guy.
Yeah,
Not
but like a lot of times people recover from that. Like my dad had Bell's
Right,
palsy and he had it for a little bit. And
But
he
even
recovered.
like him having that and not recovering from it, let's say, that doesn't mean his music is worse. His old music is worth any less.
All right,
What
now
would
you're getting at it.
What would make his old music worth less? He's a pedophile. He's a rapist. He's a racist. Like what would make
I can
him,
say with great confidence,
what would
Mark, that's
devalue
not it.
his music?
I can say with great
Michael
confidence that's not it.
Jackson sold his shit for how much?
Here's what I think it is, guys. Here's what I think it is. I think if you're at Bieber's level, you have the top tier motherfucker thinkers who know the shit. There's no one higher than Bieber in the entertainment industry rankings. They know what's happening trend-wise with monetization of songs. That's what I think is happening.
Oh, okay.
I think his team
Wow.
said, based on what we're seeing in terms of how people are consuming music, right,
Right,
and
like,
where
this is top
technology is
dollar you're gonna
going,
get. Yeah.
sell it now. I think that's what happened. That's my opinion.
Neil
mean,
Young
yeah.
just sold most of his catalog for $150 million.
Which Neil Young is worth that. The people are saying Bieber's isn't yet because at his age right
Dude,
now.
Bieber has so many more
I'd say-
plays,
yeah,
downloads
Bieber's
than
worth
Neil
what
Young.
Neil
Like
Young
he's currently the 8th most listened to monthly listener at 70 million unique listeners a month.
That's fair value. If Neil Young is 150 for his whole catalog,
Bieber
Justin
should be
Bieber
500
200 today.
Bieber
is
should be
a fair
500
value.
million.
Of it. I don't think it was.
Bieber
his
should be
whole catalog.
500 million if Neil Young's 150.
500.
sold-
Oof. I think it's
Bieber
fair.
sold it all. I guarantee you Neil Young retained his songwriter share, so half the songs.
Oh wow!
Have
Oh,
a song right.
so yeah, maybe Mark. It should be more if he did.
Yeah, it should be.
for
Neil
all.
Young, a better musician. I'm just saying, dollars and cents, downloads and listens. Bieber's
what they make now,
10x
yeah.
the artist of Neil Young in terms of
in the
money.
streaming era, but I bet Neil Young gets played on the radio around the same amount of time because
Sure,
more
but he
stations
won't
are playing
forever.
Neil Young
At a
music.
forever.
stadium, Baby plays every stadium
Music
in America
gets
10
old
times.
to the
Look,
point where
you're
people
right.
Stop playing it on the radio.
He's a valuable guy. Let's move on. Guys, update on the 6-year-old Newport newsboy who didn't take shit from nobody and popped a round off in his first grade teacher's hand and chest. Remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of people been asking what went wrong. Like, how did this happen? This is over the last couple weeks. And although that answer,
the 6-year-old bringing the gun to school,
right.
that was a
Yeah.
bad start. Yeah.
It's a complicated answer, right? And it's one that I'm not going to get into because I want to have a good time, right? It's controversial. A lot of the answers to the questions, but there's one thing that we can all agree on that contributed to this horrible incident, and that is incompetence by the school's administration.
Well, yeah,
Check
yeah.
this out. An attorney for Abby Zwerner, who was the teacher who was shot, said at a recent school board meeting, over the course of a few hours, three times, school administration was warned by concerned teachers and employees that the boy, a 6-year-old, had a gun on him and was threatening
Whoa!
people.
What?
How many times?
Deal with it.
3 times that day. According to the attorney, a bit before 11:30 a.m., Zwerner informed an administrator that the 6-year-old, quote, had threatened to beat up another child. Administration didn't remove the child, which apparently might be policy. Later, around 12:30 p.m., another teacher told the administrator she believed the student had put a gun in his pocket and taken it to recess. Right? The administrator allegedly responded, "That's not possible. He's got such little pockets." Seriously, he's got little pockets. I mean, that's some logical thinking, right? Then, shortly after 1 p.m., a third teacher told administration that another child described as crying and fearful, quote, shown him a gun at recess, pulled it out of his little pockets and threatened to shoot him if he told anybody. And then a fourth employee, guys.
Flashing his piece.
Didn't
on
take
the
that
lane.
one seriously.
Kid's a fucking gangster.
Yeah.
So 4 incidents,
pulling it
three,
out at recess.
3 directly related to the gun before the shooting happened. A fourth employee went to administration and said, "Hey, can I search this boy?" But they were like, "Nah."
And they're like,
not
"Gross."
happening. Gross.
Wait,
And
what?
then
They
half
said
an hour
no
later, she
after
got shot.
they were told like 3 separate times that he had
3
a gun.
separate times there was a possibility he had a gun.
I mean, she's kind of lucky she got shot. She's going to get paid now, big time.
Yes, she is, especially with this kind of incompetence, Wes. This is a fucking lottery
$1
ticket.
million.
Yeah, she's lucky that there was warning signs.
lucky
and
she
then
survived,
She got shot.
right,
Yeah, and
right?
that's mainly lucky. She's
lucky
probably
all
gonna have
around, though.
intestinal issues for life.
I think she's okay.
Yeah. That's fucked up,
Wow.
though. Really fucked up.
That's
hey,
horrible. Yeah, no.
if someone's like, this 6-year-old has a gun, check it out. I don't know.
I imagine she's going to need enough money to never work again because she's certainly not going to ever want to teach again. That would be.
You never know. She is a fucking hero, I want to point out, by
That
the way,
one
guys.
lady did go surfing again after she lost a leg to a shark or an arm to a shark.
After she got shot, her main focus was to get all of her students out of the building, out of the bed, out of the room, and take the gun away before she did anything. Before she treated herself or got to the teacher's lounge where she collapsed. But
That's going to
pretty
be
cool.
a couple extra $100,000 there for that move.
yeah, they
Gonna get her paid.
They owe her for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Update on Will's neighbor, actor and heavy machinery enthusiast, Jeremy Renner. If you remember, guys, Renner was involved in a snowplow accident on New Year's Day where he was crushed by the machine and
Which, Pat,
suffered.
before you go on, I mean, our coverage, it was a little rough. I think we may after the details have come out, I believe, we probably owe Mr. Renner a little bit of an apology after
Because
the
we
first
were
What did we
weirded
say?
out that his sister was sponge bathing him.
yeah, that
I
was
believe
weird.
the exact
But they're not-
words
he-
were,
he's single, though.
He probably did it to himself because he's an idiot.
Are you talking about what I said?
What's wrong with that? He
Why
got
don't you
run
just
over
say
by
I
his
owe
own
an
tractor.
Well, it turns out he's a fucking hero, guys. So you better listen up. And I think we should invite Mr. Renner.
Yes,
on
it
the
was
show to
Wes. It
apologize.
was most critical of Jeremy.
All right. Well, Renner broke 30 bones, right? Left him
Sorry,
hospitalized.
weirdo.
Blunt chest trauma. He's
Don't
single.
talk shit about a Nevada man in front of Will.
I know, right?
Yeah.
All right. So according to the incident
It
report,
was the whole thing.
let's hear what happened, and then we can shit on Wes. So according to the incident report, which CNN obtained public records request, and I should say this before we get actually into the details of it, you should know the snow removal tractor he was using is a Piston Bully brand, which I just want to stop and acknowledge is a great fucking name for any sort of big machinery. Crankshafts beware. The internet, guys, is torn about which model of the Piston Bully Renner was driving, but it was either the Bill Lambier model or the PB240D Piston Bully. Both are mid-range piston bullies from the 1980s, but it was probably
Hall of Famer.
It was probably the PB240D. And to give you an idea, that tractor weighs around 250 pounds. Check this thing out, just to give you an idea.
Pounds.
This is a big machine, man. Like, this thing is
Oh, gosh.
really heavy machinery. It's impressive.
You would not want to be run over by that thing.
Right. It's the type of thing that rich guys get for their ranch and then use once. It's like total overkill.
Yeah, but he has to clear his driveway because he lives on the side of the mountain. So
Right. He
He
could have
uses it
gotten
all
a
the
smaller model, but to each his own. So, guys, here's what happened. According to the report, Renner's nephew's truck got stuck in the snow at his house. He was having people over for the holiday. So Renner fired up the old Piston Bully and towed that truck out of the snow and towed it into the street. I guess probably near the end of his driveway. The Piston Bully's big. Let's get it out into the street. That's when the snowplow began sliding sideways and it began to roll down the hill. And Renner jumped out of the Piston Bully at the time. And once he was off it, he realized it was heading directly towards his nephew, rolling down the hill towards his nephew, who he just towed out of the snow. He feared, quote, that the Piston Bully was going to hit his nephew, so he decided to attempt to stop or divert the Piston Bully. This is a 1,300-pound machine.
He's like
right by
actual
getting behind
Hawkeye.
it. That's how he got run over by it. Yeah.
He tried to get in it to kind of, I don't know, maybe turn it or steer it, and it just pulled him right under it, crushed him.
He tried to get in a flipping snow plow.
He's a superhero, bro.
He's trying to save his nephew's life, Wes.
Okay.
How was that stupid of him?
Well, I mean, to get into a flipping snowplow, kind of dumb, yeah.
Yeah, I guess so, huh?
And nephew makes you think the kid was 3 years old. This guy was what, 28?
At least 18.
He's not gonna just gonna die on that hill.
Stop saying nephew.
Stop saying nephew.
Just say grown
After
man.
20, you gotta
grown
stop
man who
calling
couldn't get out of the way himself.
adult relative.
That's a good point, Wes. That's a great point. It's like he is a grown man. It's rolling long enough for Renner to like realize what's happening and try to get inside of it. The nephew could have just moved. Yeah. Who knows? It's a bummer. Renner is going to be okay though.
He made a judgment call. Yeah.
He's going to be okay. All right, let's move on. Quick politics.
That's a long
up here.
recovery. 30 bones.
It's a lot, man.
Listen, I'm glad he's he survived.
It seems like a just an awesome thing he did, and it's amazing he's going to survive. So good for him.
This is one of these things where Will thinks all three of us hated on Renner, even though I praised how charitable and everyone said he was a hero. Will likes to take one statement from a 6-day piece on Renner and then say he's the only Renner fan that didn't besmirch him.
Well,
I was talking great about him the whole time. I was talking great about him the whole time.
Will protects his own, and that's one of the things I love the most about him. Quick comment from the peanut gallery here. Steve Cooksey says, Renner paid for that truck. He didn't want to be crushed by the piston bully. I was thinking the same thing, honestly. This is a total, all the gear is bought by Renner, no doubt about it, when you're that rich. All right, let's move on to a quick politics update here, guys. On Wednesday, Meta announced that Donald Trump will be reinstated on Facebook and Instagram. Oh, yeah. The company has been in the news recently, along with all other big tech companies, for the massive rounds of layoffs that they've been executing, which kind of creates a perfect storm of an opportunity for Donald Trump to believe himself when he says that the failing tech companies needed him back because he gets numbers, which you know is going to be the spin. I can't wait for it. They came begging. They came begging to me for me to come back. Massive layoffs. Anyway, what do you guys think? You think it's going to be? You think he's going to come back even? He didn't come back to Twitter.
He's definitely going to be back. At least
he was already reinstated.
Yeah.
Just breaking news. Right before the
he hasn't said shit.
If he's serious about running for office, he's going to have to come back.
Right.
He's going to have to come back.
Rely on it. Yeah.
Elections are won by fooling idiots on Facebook. Everyone knows that.
Absolutely.
The National Archives is considering asking former presidents and vice presidents to take a quick look around for any classified documents that they may have, quote, forgotten to turn back in before they left office. Reuters, who reached out...
Do they not have shredders in D.C.?
Yeah, I know, dude. I know.
No,
Reuters,
they don't shred it when they take it home to sell it to somebody, Mark.
That's not true. Yeah.
You don't shred something that you're going to sell.
But shouldn't there be like some guy? First of all, why do we still have documents? Like, why are we printing documents?
Are you kidding me? Dude, have you ever tried to send something to your parents like that's like more than 3 pages on the computer?
Biden's eyes hurt when he stares.
They
at the
print it
screen.
out.
Yeah.
They print it out, bro.
Yeah.
100%.
They should hire Justin Roiland to just snowplow all the documents.
They should. He could do it. He's. I hear he's great with machinery, and he's going to make a full recovery. But yeah, no. I mean,
does it help if I bleed on them?
They would have to print it out, Mark, to get the classified information out of Congress because usually you can't have it. Like they might not be able to access it electronically a lot of times. So sometimes the printed version is the only thing that they can get their hands on.
I mean, it's after how it sounds like there's a lot of classified documents the way these guys are having them all around. So when you archive it, like at some point, shouldn't you just digitally archive it and shred it and destroy it? Like, isn't there a guy keeping track of the old classified? Doesn't sound like it, but
they are. Themselves.
The National Archives. That's their job. So the way that
they're
works,
not doing a very good job.
Well, and the presidents themselves too.
It's tough because if they don't know the National Archives doesn't know a document gets created.
This is like if a police officer has drugs and money, and they're like, "Oh, I signed it into the evidence room," but then they didn't. And like that's the vibe going on with classified documents.
Well, that's why they should be shredding them because the National Archives only knows about documents you tell them about. They don't know when a document's
created. Don't shred what you're going to sell for information.
I think Will's right. I think that something's going on.
Who knows?
It's that simple, guys.
Yeah. Well, guys, look, the archive said that they were considering this, and Reuters reached out to some of the country's former leaders for comment, and they're reporting that Barack Obama, George Bush, and Bill Clinton all had their out-of-office responses turned on, and Jimmy Carter is, quote, dead. So, I don't know. I guess maybe they have some, I don't know. Could be coincidence. They could have some documents. Who knows? All right, guys, some new lies from George. Come on, that was a great joke. That was really good.
Jimmy Carter's
he's taking it so hard. I've heard that, Pat. I've heard it's true.
Yeah. Guys, this is George Santos' old roommate. And he talked to New Yorker Magazine.
New York Magazine.
Who's the guy next to him? Yeah.
That's Santos on the right. Come on.
He's drunk as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
He's just thinking about becoming a congressman.
Or
they were roommates. back in 2013, 2014, and the roommate's name, Yasser Rebello, talked to New York Magazine to share some classic lies from the Santos period of his life. So let's get into them. Santos told Rebello, while they were living together, the following. He told Rebello that he was a reporter at Globo in Brazil, which he was not. And he also told Rebello that he was a model, and that he worked at New York Fashion Week, and they met all the Victoria's Secret models and would be in Vogue magazine soon from his modeling.
That's a good lie.
Which is a straight lie. Santos, during the period of their cohabitation, took on 2 roommates without consulting him and didn't tell Rebello about it until they showed up, and then kicked Rebello out of the apartment via his mother. And when he went back to get his dresser, Santos's mother told him, "The dresser is mine now." So there you have
He's
it.
just an asshole, a lying asshole.
Yeah. Was like, I thought you died at 9/11.
We're going to keep you updated on his lying assholeness, but let's get to guys the top. I mean, every time. Can we just report a new lie? Because they're great.
A lying asshole.
Yeah, we can make
time.
some of these up. We can make some of these up and everyone will believe it. I mean,
Yeah, you
at this
could.
point. Yeah.
Well,
Some of them probably are, but that's what happens when you lie that much.
Yeah.
Right. No, I'm a model, actually. You won't be seeing a lot of me. I'll be in and out of the house because my modeling schedule. So, yeah, I'm 50 pounds over the weight, but, fat is in. Let's get to the top
George
story of the
Santos
day.
killed his dad.
The cream of the crop!
Are you guys fans of Rick and Morty?
I've never watched it. I heard it's. I hear it's amazing.
It's one of the best shows on television. It's one of the best shows ever made. It's that good. The writing on it is so damn smart. I didn't want to love it. My brother was a huge fan, kept badgering me, and it is awesome.
It's animated, right?
It's an animated show created by 2 guys, Dan Harmon from Community and Justin Roiland. And Roiland,
Community was such butt.
really? I mean, Community, they're making a
Community
movie
is
right
one
now.
of the worst shows of all
I feel like
time.
Community was great for a couple seasons, and then
If it's Community style comedy, I'm out.
It's not. I mean, I feel
it's
like
definitely Community adjacent. I
Okay.
mean, I've seen a few episodes. I like it, but
You know what it is?
Like,
The guy from Talk Soup is the worst. Joel Greenberg or Seth Joel.
the concept of the show is that
you mean Seth Greenberg on that?
No, Joel
Morty-
something. Joel McHale.
Joel McHale, yeah. But
the
Chevy
star of
Chase,
Community.
Donald Glover, you got lots of good actors in there. So the concept of Rick and Morty, Rick, who's Morty's grandfather, Morty's like 14-year-old boy, they travel around the galaxy in and out of time, dimensions, and the grandfather's an alcoholic. It's a fucking great show. It's smart writing. It's very reminiscent of like our generation of like knowing movies, knowing movie tropes. It's very like meta. It's just, you'll love it. It's fantastic. Or will you? Because it turns
It's
out
a lot of references and puns, that's for sure. And so,
Okay. I like that.
If that's your thing, for sure.
I like that.
Yes.
it's universally the shit. I mean, and also they have huge influence. Do you guys remember
Pickle Rick is like a
Pickle Rick?
Yeah,
Pickle Rick.
Everyone loves Pickle Rick.
Szechuan sauce.
Every time I go into like a vape store, 'cause sometimes I used to go there because they sell my cigarettes. The guy behind the counter would be wearing a Pickle Rick hat.
Right.
Pickle Rick, great episode. They have
Vapors love Rick and Morty West. Yeah, you're right.
They have such hardcore fans, a lot like Community.
Their fans can vape clouds around every other fan base.
Oh yeah.
Forget about it. They have such hardcore fans that in an episode they made reference to the Szechuan sauce that McDonald's brought as a dipping sauce during the promotion of the original Mulan film, and it had such an impact that the fans demanded McDonald's bring it back, and they did. That's how important
Right.
their fan base
They've
is.
got that type of fan base. Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully they're going to stick by the main creator, Justin Roiland, because it turns out he's into some young stuff, it seems.
Oh, hopefully they're gonna stick by him, even though he's a pedophile.
We'll see. Well, I don't know if he's a
you like
Probably
the
pedophile.
show?
not. You know, when you're full on pedo, that's
Well,
hard
hold
to
on.
stick by.
Hopefully they
You guys
stick
be
it
the
out.
judge. You guys be the judge. I'm going to lay the facts out. You be the judge. So 2 days ago, it came out that he was involved in some sort of domestic situation, right? Assumedly with his of-age partner, right? Now, yesterday, there was a Reddit thread that blew up about Roiland being a creeper. So, part of that Reddit thread, and actually, I'm going to do this first. First, I'm going to play you a supercut from a podcast that he was doing because I think you'll get the context on this. He's trying to be funny, but I don't know, man. Here we go.
The race, are we that crazy? Like when we were fucking
That's Roiland.
100 years ago, it was little 13-year-old girls, if they were built like a woman, they were getting married and having kids. And now we're going to be all precious about it. I keep using the word precious today. That's the word of the week.
Which is a movie about a child molesting.
Precious.
Right?
You're a Down syndrome baby.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyways, I'm not a pedophile, though. I do follow the law.
I'm a pedophile.
I wait till they're 18 if I'm ever so lucky as to have...
For that. Do Justin's advice for me to get a girl kind of worked out, but you should put a warning advice.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. You should put a warning. Only lasts 48 hours.
Oh.
Because the girl I said had a nice ass. Do you remember when you gave us advice?
So tell her she's got a nice ass.
my
Be
God.
a man.
This
Be
is the
tough.
one that everybody thinks was gay,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
At
yeah.
a school.
I guess so.
Be
This-
confident. Act like you know you're fucking awesome. And
Yeah.
and if you're like in 4th grade, these girls, they're gonna be blindsided.
4th grade.
If I could
What
go
is going
back
on?
and be a 4th grade kid right now with what I know, oh my God, I'd be like walking around. I'd be getting laid every fucking day.
Gross.
And it would
Fourth
be
grade.
and it would be legal too because I would be a little kid.
And he's been practicing on a 4th grader now, so he knows how to do
Yeah.
it.
No, she's 22.
She does have braces, though.
I love it. I love the braces. It's hot.
Okay.
come on,
it says,
man.
anyways, she said she had a nice ass.
I'm
didn't
not a
really-
pedophile though. All right. Jesus.
Oh
Christ.
yeah, you have to keep
didn't
saying it.
really want-
I'm not attracted to fucking
Just
little
as close
kid
as it
bodies.
gets.
I like fucking women body. Look, I'll say, look, a fucking 14-year-old that looks like she's 18 and like big titties and a nice,
yeah.
like, of course I'm
yeah.
attracted to that.
Likes
Ooh, yeah.
well-developed
That's why this whole Chris
teenagers.
Hansen thing, I'm like,
Listen to this.
fuck you, man. These girls are like, they're fully developed and they're like, they're talking online. I want you to fuck
You
me
mean
and shit.
the girls that old men or women pretend to be to lure the pedophiles into the house?
Yeah, but
Great
they would
question.
email
This dude's
photos
career is
of what they
ending.
look like, and the ones I saw were like, that girl's fully fucking
Va-
developed
va-
woman.
va-
Yeah,
va-
like,
Oh.
come on, back in like,
Her brain
how
isn't,
are we
you
that
moron.
fucking, like,
That's the whole
as a
point.
race, are we that crazy? Like,
Okay, so
Holy shit.
Not a good
that was
look
interesting
there.
to me. That was interesting to me because at first you're like, oh, he's being edgy, and then it goes into a place where you're like, what the fuck
Fuck
is
Chris
this guy
Hansen.
talking about?
If they're developed,
The
they
fuck
should be
Chris
able-
Hansen
you should
shit
be
is
able to-
like-
you should be able to fuck a 13-year-old, a 14-year-old if they're developed. They don't have the.
He didn't say
cognitive
that. He
ability.
said, of course, I
Yes, he
think they're
did.
hot.
They don't have the
Well,
ability
but
to say
so
no
he's-
to a 40-year-old
so he's-
that's a millionaire that's got Pickle
Right.
Rick gear, and I created Pickle Rick.
It's not my
The
fault
problem
I
with the
wanna
Chris
fuck him.
Hansen thing is that Chris Hansen's catching people
Fuck
who are
that
like
dude.
going out to find young chicks
And
or
they
young
tell
boys
them
or
their
whatever.
age. They're like,
So-
I'm
so he's-
14.
Right.
The
so
problem
he's
is he
like- he's,
claimed
like, commiserating
entrapment
with it. Like,
because
I've
the
looked
women
for that.
looked of age. That's
You
what he's
just-
saying. Is like
you just
if they
saved
look of
me-
age.
You just saved me force feeding myself Rick and Morty, so that's good. I mean, I don't
Okay,
do
so
anymore.
that was his take.
I know.
That was
Oh,
his
it
take.
is pretty funny. They're right.
But hold on, a take alone like that,
You're not going to be able to watch it now. Nobody's
No.
going to be able to watch it.
I'm not
a
watching
take
that
alone
shit
like
now.
that is not worth passing judgment on. A take alone like that. 'cause
Wait,
he
the
could just,
pedophile wrote this? Oh my goodness.
he could just be trying to be fucking weird
Every
and
joke
and
I'm really looking into
sure,
it.
I get
That's
that,
a little
Patty.
petty. That's a little bit petty. That
But
joke.
what do you
Ah,
do?
come on. I
What
can't
do you
take
do?
any of this seriously.
on that alone, you can't. You know, it's whatever. He's trying to be an asshole. Shit that wasn't funny. Here's where that coupled with this is what I'm about to show you
more?
is kind of the issue.
It's worse.
Kind of.
So
Worse than that?
Yeah, that's a pretty bad tape.
That
But
was
so
pretty bad.
a lot of people came
Time
out.
Pat, real quick. The last two people that we've talked about 2 days in a row that have claimed they're not pedophiles, which they've had to announce, are Dan from Shauna Ray and this guy. The next time I hear someone say I'm not a pedophile, it's like I'm being honest. You know, like that's just such a red flag that this guy has to say that. You know.
I agree. You don't have to say you're badass. People just know.
no, they're saying it all the time. It's not like you make one joke and then you say it once a year. It's like these guys. He said it 10 times on that
But
podcast.
they're both putting themselves in the their ass in the jackpot by bringing up the fact that they're attracted to young girls.
Right,
And then
but-
they're like, "But I'm not a pedo."
He could say 100 times on one podcast.
Idiots.
It doesn't matter because he's trying to fucking maybe be weird and it didn't fly or fly.
Can't
But here's
see your
where it gets
brain.
weird. Here's where it gets weird. So women started coming forward and being like, "Yo, I was talking to this guy when I was a child."
Oh boy.
Here's the thing: if you're grown, so this was 2015. He's 42 now. How old does that make him in 2015?
7.
Doesn't matter. If you're
36.
an adult, don't talk to a 16-year-old girl in the first place. But she says, "I turned 17 in December." It sounds so weird to say. Yeah, that's a very 17-year-old thing to say. He responds, "Is it cool being jailbait? Does the FBI follow you around and arrest all the men you sleep with?"
So he just hit on her hard. Hit on her.
Exactly, Will.
5:24 p.m. By the way.
Yes, that was a
5 p.m.
This is before dinner.
Yeah.
He's not even horny yet.
Yeah, he's not even drunk yet.
Well, he's not. Well, if he's a raging alcoholic or a raging
Right.
pedo or both.
Yeah.
Right. Well, look, obviously, Will,
No,
you,
I mean,
you nailed
drunk,
it.
Drunk people don't make you pedo. Like what?
He was offhandedly bringing off sex. He was using manipulation tactic, right? Yes, to hit on her. Apparently, a lot of women came forward and said he speaks like, because he's a genius. He's a very smart writer, and he speaks like a child, a 17-year-old, a teenager when he's communicating with these people in a weird way. This is also strange. Okay,
It's inappropriate to be in a conversation like that with a 17.
You can't say that to
A 16-year-old. Sorry.
What's wrong with him? He was 36.
Okay,
You
so
can't,
here
you can't do that. You can't respond.
here's this, guys.
Do you like get fucked? You little jailbait
What's it
slut.
like being, what's it like
You
having
that's
such a
so
young
creepy.
pussy?
That's so creepy. All the guys that follow you around and want to bang you, you little slut.
What's it like?
Okay, so this is from the Reddit. This is from the Reddit thread. And by the way, if you know anything about Reddit, usually the thing about Reddit which makes it great and have great content is the great subreddits are gated, right? You can't just roll into a great subreddit and if you have no karma or no track record and say shit, it'll get removed. This subreddit moved from, I forget what it was, to the Adult Swim main subreddit, and that's when shit really got off the rails for Roiland. This is from a poster who said, honestly, really glad Rick and Morty is becoming the new target for ridicule because I used to be friends with Justin Roiland and can confirm he's a grade A creep.
Yeah.
He must be expensive. We became friends when I was still 17. He'd frequently try to get me to go to his private parties and hook up with him. Justin Roiland says, what's wrong with a weird date? Ha ha ha. It wouldn't be weird unless we were awkward about it. It would be fun. Don't be a homo. Unless you are a homo, that's totally okay. If you are, I have some girlfriends you might like. It continues. Let me pull the
How
next
old was
one
she
up
at
here.
this point?
17.
She's 17.
Okay.
He would inject normal stuff like this into normal convos. So she's saying she's into comics, focused around music. He says, yeah, I just want to see your style. Lots of porn. Are you into porn?
She's trying to have a conversation with him, and he goes straight to turning it into banging her all the time.
He then invited her to a singles party and wanted to hook her up with Alex Hirsch when I was barely about to turn 18. And I made a vague post about it on here, and he sent me this. Hey, please don't... I guess you posted on Tumblr. Hey, please don't tumble that stuff about Alex. It makes him look like a sleaze, and he didn't even know I was trying to play matchmaker. Can you take that down?
Sleaze.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, that segment was brought to you.
Well, real
guys.
quick. It's me, Al Green. We're doing live shows, so we're getting some comments with a heater. He says he's the type of guy to start a sentence with no offense, but and you always offend someone when you do that. That's like what he's doing with the I'm not a pedo crap. It's true. He's a pedo.
Right.
Yeah.
No offense.
Yeah, it's an admission.
And then you immediately offend someone.
Right.
I'm surprised because, like, you know what fucking Andrew Tate
Just saying
did,
you're a pedo.
which was chess. Yeah. Andrew Tate started saying, here's what happens first. First, they try to cancel you. Then they arrest you. Then they kill you. He was saying that because he knew there was an arrest pending. So then he could be like, when he was walking in, the Matrix got me. Most guys like Tate who are smart, like Roiland is, they don't go on podcasts if they're into kids and say
They get away with
kids
it.
are hot.
He's going to get away with it. It's going to blow over.
He'll get away with it, but dude, I mean,
Where
like,
there's smoke,
everybody
there's
knows
fire,
this
though,
guy.
you know?
Everybody
Well,
knows this guy wants to bang little girls. Like, I mean,
Cartoon
Network.
Network
That's just a fact.
let their biggest show go. They've
Pat's
parted.
gonna be
getting,
a
Pat's
couple
getting railed in the
17-year-olds.
comments for liking cuties on this. show.
There's going to be a couple now 28-year-olds.
It's a piece
come
of
out
art.
and be like,
I
yeah,
never
he,
watched it again.
He fucked me when I was 17. Yeah. 100%.
For sure. This is the tip of the
There's
iceberg.
no way he
with this
didn't
dude.
fuck a 17-year-old or a 16-year-old.
He was trying to.
He went lower than that too. But yeah.
The
He
defense
was
of the
talking
Chris
about
Hansen
14
shit.
on the podcast. Nobody even told him that he was just like, hey, I would love to fuck a 14-year-old if she looked like she was 18.
What if she's got big breasts? Ooh.
Well, he said, and she's got those big titties. Who's got those big titties? Who?
The 14, the fourth grader.
Where are you seeing
out
these
of
people?
control.
Why are you near them?
I would be banging fourth.
You guys know
graders
what you
if I
did
could-
to me.
If I could go back to fourth grade, I'd be banging fourth graders. It'd be totally
Look what you
legal.
did to it. Look down and see what you did to it. You made this.
Wow. Okay.
Talking about his dick.
Keep him away from girls or little kids, in general.
Guys, I'll be honest with you.
Cartoons for a living.
I'm adult cartoons. Adult swim.
He's a cartoonist. Well, it's going to be
it's
hard to
getting
keep him away
worse.
from kids.
It's true. When you put it that way. Guys, I'm not a big... I'm like I'm a 50-50 disaster guy. like whether something bad's going to happen. There's a part of me that really wants to like take the little money I have and buy a piece of land somewhere in Michigan or Minnesota. So if global warming continues and there's like a nuke on the East Coast, I can go to a safe place where there'll be water. But when I start thinking about it, I'm like, I'm an obsessive guy too, so I can't get too into this. But I do want to be protected, and you should be too.
Yes.
And that's why you should check out 4Patriots, guys. A food shortage could be coming in the U.S., even more so. What if something weird happens, right? You got drought, inflation. You got what do they call it? The doomsday clock getting cranked up or whatever the hell that means. You got madman Putin shitting himself with his hand on the nuclear button. It's dangerous out there, guys. Something could happen. And if it does, you're going to wish you had a stockpile of the best-selling 4Patriots survival food kits. It's not ordinary food. We're talking food that's good for 25 years, super survival food. It's hand-packed, right in a family-owned facility in the US of A, giving jobs to 200 Americans. These kits are compact, sturdy, water-resistant, stack easy. They have delicious lunches and dinners. You can make meals in just about 20 minutes.
Did you say zinners?
Zinners, yeah, and sinners.
They have the best zinners.
Just add boiling. My contacts are falling out. I got dry mouth. I'm losing my shit over here.
You throw it in Z's.
Rick and Morty's no longer.
Throw it in random Z's.
But not 4Patriots. That's the one thing that's not crumbling in this situation.
Here's the deal. Go get the 3-month survival kit, which is what I got. Go to 4patriots.com. Use promo code HARDFACTOR. Get 10% off your first order for anything you purchase in the store, including the 3-month survival kit. I highly recommend it. Start there. That's where I started. You get the famous guarantee, entire year for your order, free shipping on orders over $97. That's 4Patriots because a portion of every sale is donated to charities who support our veterans and their families, which I am included. Although we don't take charity, we give to it. Thank God 4Patriots is doing that. 4patriots.com. Use promo code HARDFACTOR. Get that 10% off.
Do it. Each zinner helps
Every
you back.
zinner.
Every
zupper.
What do you
Supper
like,
time.
Who throws in Z's? Is it like Russians? Like Z? The Germans. You're like a German.
Yeah,
B's,
German.
yeah.
You're right. Well, German speaking English. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to fix my
Today's
contact. You guys go.
Today's episode was brought to you by DraftKings. 4 NFL teams, 2 conference championship games, and only a few more shots to win big on the playoffs with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, counting down to Super Bowl 57. New customers can bet just $5 and get 200 in free bets instantly. That's a deal. Not a new customer, you can feel the conference championship thrills with stepped-up same-game parlays. Take your shot at an even bigger NFL payout. Boost your winnings with each leg you add up to 100% on the same game parlays. I got the Bengals and Birds still to advance to the big dance. I also like Wes's over in the AFC Championship, under in the NFC Championship. I think that's a pretty likely outcome.
I like it.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code HARDFACTOR. New customers can bet $5 on the conference championships and get 200 in free bets instantly only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code HARDFACTOR. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for full details.
Yeah.
All right. Now, on to some incredible and also terrifying science. And we're going to rip the Band-Aid off first and go with terrifying to start it off.
Appreciate that.
This is from The New Scientist, and they say, engineers at the Chinese University of Hong Kong, along with Dr. Carmel Majidi and his colleagues at Carnegie Mellon University in Pennsylvania, have designed miniature robots that can rapidly shift between liquid and solid states. These robots are made up of gallium, a metal with a low melting point of 29.8 degrees centigrade, which is embedded with microscopic magnetic particles made of neodymium, iron, and boron. These magnetic particles can be heated through induction, which not only allows the robot to change states, but also become mobile in response to magnetic fields, okay? Potential applications of these robots could include removing foreign objects or delivering drugs inside the human body, in addition to soldering circuit boards. Fellas, we're talking about T-1000s.
Yeah, I was about to say chasing John Connors is one of the things that could do. Yeah.
Solid, the material was strong enough to support an object 30 times its own mass. Here's a little taste, courtesy of the University of Hong Kong. Here we have a robot You get soft.
Oh my god.
Go down.
It's like an octopus.
Liquid robot. Robot again. Stiff. Solid. Okay. Robot grab ball. Okay. Get soft inside human stomach. Very, very impressive. very,
Holy
very
shit.
difficult. Now, bar is gone. Fantastic robot. You heard it straight from the University of Hong Kong right there, guys. But the good news for us.
Guys, that was
That's a
that
T1000.
fucking. It was like think of like a bug the size of a piece of gum, right? Like a chewed up gum.
1 millimeter T1000.
It was just moving and wrapping itself around a ball bearing, and then like just floating away as. Well, what the fuck was
How
that?
was Terminator
T1000.
so right? Someone came from the future and wrote Terminator.
Dude, James Cameron did. He nails
Came from
all
the
of it.
future. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
James Cameron
Avatar's,
is from the future.
The next step. But the good news for us guys is that to make this 1 millimeter T1000 soften, stretch, move, or melt into a puddle at all, the researchers have to put it near magnets. So the magnets customize magnetic fields, then exert forces on the tiny, T1000s, and then they turn them into ruthless killing machines potentially.
So you're
Or
saying we need
they say they can help you, with science and whatnot.
we
But-
need magnet-proof shelters, is what you're saying. We need magnet-free jail cells, is what you're saying.
You could say that, or it sounds like the orcas could help us take out the magnetic field ships they're going to need over top of these T1000s. Because the T1000s have to be manipulated by like a bunch of magnets pushing them in different directions, right?
Well,
So
was the word nano? I mean, was the prefix nano anywhere in that story? Did they say nanotechnology?
Yeah, it's
nano,
tiny. It's tiny.
Nanomorph,
But Pat,
maybe?
you think you got to extrapolate this. It's going to get big one day. And to kill a human.
No,
they're
well,
gonna need
I'm
to
looking
get
at
huge.
I'm looking at the T1000. Essentially, like the description of how it was
Go
created.
under a door, like assassinate someone, just slinks
Yep.
under a door.
Yep. It's
It was
like a
made through
it's like a
nanotechnology.
vampire.
It started it with nanotech, exactly. Pat.
Nanotechnology. It's a
Exactly,
nanomorph.
Pat. Yeah.
You could make someone
need-
swallow
you need
this as a liquid, and then it could just like go to their heart and like start just tearing apart
Exactly,
like, the
Wes.
vessels.
Exactly, Wes. It
You're
says that
nailing
it would
some of the ways
help
it can
you,
kill
but-
you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, it can only kill you.
Yeah.
Could definitely kill you. So that's the thing. It can only kill you if it's got the magnetic fields pushing it in the right direction. So
For
it
now.
it could never do that over the sea. First of
This
all,
is
and
this
second
is
of all,
huge for guys that jam
if
phone
they
chargers.
did
up
try,
with it,
the orcas could.
It
help.
is.
Not salt water's.
though. I'm
not
sorry,
very
Will.
good
I
for
didn't
us.
mean to interrupt you.
We're getting closer and closer to the sea. We're gonna have to get our lungs better.
Yeah. Because what are you going to do to beat robots?
Avoid the land.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Cyanide.
There's nothing else to do. Okay, that was horrible and terrifying science news, but now over to incredible science news. And it turns out that whole thing about weed making sex better. Have you guys ever heard that one?
I'm a proponent of that. I believe in that.
I haven't heard it. Done a little experimenting though. Have a little
Yeah.
first-hand experience there.
Wow. A lot of people
Was
say
this written by me?
Get out of here, Dewey.
What are y'all doing in here?
We're smoking reefer.
It's not gonna make me want to have sex, is it?
It makes sex even better.
Sounds kind of expensive.
It's the cheapest drug there is.
It's non-habit forming.
Anyway,
one of the best
that
scenes
whole
in cinema
myth,
history.
That whole myth that Mark, there's been research that actually disproves that one since Tim Meadows says it. Anyways, that whole myth about weed making sex better is actually now a scientific fact, thanks to researchers at East Carolina University and North Carolina State. They surveyed 811 people for ages 18 to 85 years old. 64% of them chicks. That might like to smoke a little weed. And more than 70% overall reported increased desire and orgasm intensity after smoking cannabis.
Out of control cum shots.
Out of control. Whether alone or with their partner, it didn't matter. It was better either way. There wasn't much of a difference between men and women in orgasm intensity, but the survey showed that weed helped more than 40% of women reach multiple orgasms. So nearly 60% of smokers are already purposely smoking before sex or masturbation to make it better. It's now a scientific fact, thanks to the
That should
ECU
be their
Pirates
slogan.
and the NC State.
Yeah.
Weed, come more.
Yep.
Yeah, you know
Come
what's
more,
interesting?
Come on.
Have you guys met anyone who was like a pretty straight-laced rule follower who like never did weed, but then now because it's legal in their state, they're like, I'll try it now because I didn't do it because it was not legal.
You talk about my mom?
Yeah, exactly. There's lots of those people.
Yeah, a lot of boomers.
Like, yeah.
I guarantee this is great. I guarantee that there's someone out there. There's a woman or a man out there somewhere whose partner's been like, you know what would make sex a lot better? Weed. And they were like, I mean, yeah, but it's not a scientific fact. When it's a scientific fact, I'll start doing the weed and then boning you, and then it's just floodgates for them now. Good for them.
Actually, it was a scientific fact as far back as 1984 when they did the first survey about whether weed is good for sex, and the results were overwhelming. Yes, in 1984. So.
Yeah, they could keep doing it all they want. Also, just you try it and you be the judge for yourself.
Yeah, so this is just the first one.
What, are you afraid?
Has been done since it's easier to study, basically. But yeah, every time, as Mark said, the results speak for themselves.
Nate Diaz, I'm not surprised, face. Stop me if you've heard this one before, but I have an alarming story coming out of Texas. Okay, that might sound familiar. Well, how about this? This time, it's from that yuppie utopia, Dallas. All right. Well, okay, well, how about this? This time, it's from the Dallas Zoo. And
Yes,
you probably have heard that
definitely
before.
heard that before. Yes.
Because that was the setting where that clouded leopard completely escaped from its enclosure last week and freaked everyone out. Remember that?
I've been wondering what happened to that leopard.
It caused the zoo to shut down, running several children and ruining several children and Shauna Ray's birthday parties. Hey, Shauna, I know it's your 25th birthday, but I was thinking we could do it at the zoo. I'll buy you a Dippin' Dots. I'm totally not a creep, by the way, not a pedophile. It's normal to fly across the world to stalk reality TV stars from different countries that are legal-age children clones.
Hey, Shauna, do you think you would fit
Dan.
into? It would be
That's
so
Dan.
funny
Yeah,
if you would fit into
That
one
was
of
Dan the
these
pedophile.
strollers they have, these animal themed strollers. You think you'd fit in? That'd be so funny.
Come on, let's go to the zoo
Please
again.
ride the pony.
Yeah. She's had.
Do you think Dan asked to get the kids' prices for her, like just to see if he can?
yeah.
It's a fun game.
He gets an erection if she gets a kid's present.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Let's see if we can get it, babe. What do
Yeah.
you think?
That was hot for two reasons.
Children's ticket, please. One children's ticket, please. Oh, crumpling the ticket. Anyways, back to the zoo. So yeah, the leopard got out, Pat, and at the Dallas Zoo, they eventually found it. It didn't kill a dozen people like it probably should have, right? Because it's a giant cat that is like super quick, strong, and the camouflages.
That was actually it's not that big of a cat, to be honest. It's not
Anything
like a
over
leopard.
50 pounds can kill you.
I think it was like 30 pounds. This
Okay.
cat.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out they found out how it got out too after they caught it. There was a hole that was cut in the netting of its enclosure, cut, not clawed or bitten, cut by a human. Now, fast forward to yesterday when a rare endangered vulture was found dead in its exhibit, and after investigation, it was ruled not by natural causes.
Homicide.
Someone killed it.
Did the leopard get out and kill it?
No, a human.
Well, it's not
killed it.
homicide, I guess. It's birdicide.
A human killed it. So now someone's killed this rare vulture, which no other animal had access to the exhibit, and someone cut a hole in the leopard thing. It's so sketchy and so alarming that the zoo contacted the Dallas police and spilled the beans on the leopard net cutting and said someone clearly snapped this vulture's neck and then carved a word into its chest and said, "Can you help us find this madman?" And the zoo is now offering like $10,000 reward for bringing the zoo bandit to justice. So what the hell do we have on our hands here,
That's
guys?
the custodian.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
like
a
a-
case of avicide. That's the killing of birds. And
But the
and I think
leopard-
Wes, it's a disgruntled employee for sure. I don't know about custodian. Could be like it's a guy who has to clean up shit, but that's a custodian. Or the custodian.
Someone who does cleaning.
Yep.
This is like a fucked up episode of Scooby-Doo. Some lunatic is committing crimes all over the zoo using dangerous animals as his or her pawns. See, I think what happened is the leopard was clearly meant to kill a bunch of people by a creative serial killer that uses animals. And then the vulture probably spotted the leopard and was the one to like make a bunch of noise and tip off the zoo people who caught the leopard. And as a revenge for the narc vulture, the guy went in there and killed it. And he's like, "You will not foil any more of my plans." What's he going to do next? Let out some poisonous snakes? I wouldn't recommend going to the Dallas Zoo anytime soon unless you want a recently released gorilla to rip your head off of your shoulders.
Yeah, no, that's it.
He
Somebody's
doesn't
so
have balls
upset
to
there.
do that, though. That's the thing. This guy's a
Oh,
coward.
he's working up to it. He's killing the animals, man.
Let me ask you this:
He killed
Are
a
you
wolf.
guys?
I'm looking at a
cowardly
list
thing
of
to do.
worst animals to take care of at a zoo. It's either the gator handler or the chimp handler.
Those guys. Yeah, but if it's the chimp handler, a chimp would have gotten out. Or you see?
Yeah,
Right,
Well,
but
dude,
these are the most upset people because they have the hardest jobs. Apparently,
it's obvious why gator handler's a tough job, but chimp handler, it's not why you think. Like
poop
chimp
drawer.
handlers, well, no, it's because you got to like be friends with it. Like you got to like,
they're needy.
actually listen
they're-
when it's talking.
they're saying
and
the
shit.
bird people actually.
Oh, what today, Ralph?
They're saying the
Sign
bird
into
people
it.
have a
What
hard
today,
time,
Ralph?
too.
I have to go.
These birds are stupid.
Right, and one of these things was a bird that was killed, so maybe it's the bird people. Maybe they
think
thought
it's-
the jaguar was or the leopard was going to kill all the birds, and then because it didn't, they got pissed. They kept it taken in their
I
own
think it's a
hands.
guy with a season pass.
Are you guys? If you guys had to go to a
Don't they have
zoo,
cameras, security cameras?
knowing that
They're
you-
upping the security cameras because apparently they've been found out to have really shitty security cameras.
Yeah,
so
very
they're
shitty.
increasing the security cameras as part
People
of
can
this.
just cut holes in the leopard net.
Come on out, go get him.
Didn't have all the angles covered there.
That guy had scissors and he was there for 5 minutes. Yeah. So, anyways,
Okay. Well,
good luck. Dallas Zoo, steer clear.
All right, guys. We've all got goals this new year, right? 2023. Maybe lose a little weight. Fat Boy Summer's coming up. Fatathon starting soon. And there's one company that can really help you in your goals, and that's Factor. And they are here to help you achieve each and every one of your goals. And you can save time and have the energy you need to tackle everything on your to-do list with Factor's ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. Get Factor and not only skip the trip to the grocery store, but skip the chopping, prepping, and cleaning up too. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes. So all you have to do is heat them up and enjoy, and they are delicious. No matter what your lifestyle, Factor has meals to help you live to the fullest with keto, calorie smart, vegan and veggie, protein plus if you're trying to bulk up. And the meals change every week. Prepared by chefs and approved by dietitians, each meal has all the ingredients you need to feel satisfied all day long. You're looking to cut back on takeout? It's pretty expensive, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
Pat can tell you all about takeout.
numero uno expenso.
That's right. Well,
Five guys yesterday.
Not
wife
once
and
you
I?
have Factor.
Over
Not once you
40
have Factor. Oh,
Over
these are
$40
delicious.
for 2 Five Guys meals.
yeah. Not only is
no.
Factor cheaper than
Factor.
takeout,
going on with
but
that?
meals are ready quicker than restaurant delivery, just 2 minutes. So, no more going down to the door, to get your food that's cold by the time you get it. Nope. Pop it in the microwave or oven, and boom, you're ready to go.
And I like spicy food, like really spicy food, and they make it like a lot of people don't. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So get Factor and enjoy clean eating without the basics. Simply choose your meals and enjoy fresh, flavor-packed meals delivered right to your door, ready in 2 minutes. My personal favorite, the black pepper and sage pork chop, absolutely phenomenal. No shit, the best, prep meals I've ever had.
Yeah.
I mean,
You guys are never gonna let me live this down. You don't want to know what my favorite flavor is?
what?
Jalapeno lime.
Oh, I thought you were going to say
go.
dick.
Of course.
Jalapeno lime, yeah. That makes, you
right.
hypocrite. See, everyone's changed into Team Lime. Now it's just Pat. Just
it's
Pat on his
superior.
lemon island.
Yeah.
Well, no,
That
I
and
mean,
his
I'd still take
butter
lemons
sauce.
if I had to over one. But anyways, that's my favorite Factor meal flavor, jalapeno lime.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
Well, it's
Not
the number
backing
one
down.
ready-to-eat meal kit. So start saving time, eating well, and living your best year ever. Head to factormeals.com/hardfactor60. Use code hardfactor60 and get 60% off your first box. That's code hardfactor60 at factormeals.com/hardfactor60 to get 60% off your first box. And trust me, it won't be your last box because these boxes are great. They're awesome. Yeah. Okay. Guys, before I begin this next story, I want to again remind everyone out there for the 1000th time that, people that listen regularly, casually, hate listen, whatever, that we here at Hard Factor are all for everyone living life as happy as they can, no matter what that means, as long as it does not hurt anyone else, right? You want to be a dog, go for it. As long as you don't piss on my leg in public, that's fine. You want to be a cat,
I mean,
fine.
Wes is really okay with it. He'll let you. I mean, he'll let almost anybody.
He's
bang
got
it
a
off.
progressive stance on dogs and humans.
That's right.
He's really okay with it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, whatever religion you want to do, go for it.
It doesn't mean we don't think
hurt
you're a
people,
fucking
yeah.
weirdo and we
Right.
won't make fun of you.
We make
but-
fun of everyone.
That's
though.
just the world. That's
But
how it
we're
works,
happy.
yeah.
If it makes you happy, we're happy for you, right? And look, in this crazy
With some
world,
exception.
What's that?
Well, he said violence and stuff. If you're hurting someone or like
Right.
with
yeah,
the
if you're
exception
hurting
of
someone,
hurting
that's
people.
the
Yeah.
exception. Yeah.
There's others, but yeah.
Like what?
Like what?
I don't know. Use your imagination. There's lots of stuff.
There's lots of crimes out there. We don't condone crimes. Okay.
Yeah, like I don't know, chatting up a 17-year-old.
Crime-free zone.
Right.
No, that's hurting
That's that's not okay. That's rape. That's statutory rape. That doesn't count. That's
Except for
included.
the ones that don't hurt anybody. Right. Yeah.
Right.
And that wouldn't include.
That's right.
Okay.
Now
And
you've
look, in
entered
this
the hurt,
crazy
now you've
world-
entered the hurting people bucket.
Right.
Oh, I see. You covered the whole thing. I see.
Yeah, I covered the whole thing.
Yeah.
And look, in
Big
this
blank.
crazy world of pronouns, gender identity, and confusion about who you are and what you are, everyone needs a friend, right? Suicide rates amongst confused and scared teens is outrageous. Everyone needs someone to talk to. Look, sometimes that person ain't who you think it should be. Like the people that are supposed to love you no matter what. Your family, mainly your parents, which is why many kids are turning elsewhere for the support and encouragement they need to be their true selves. And many times those people these days are their weirdo teachers, okay? Which is great, right? I mean, everyone, I'd rather my son talk to anyone rather than like doing something drastic, even if it's his weirdo teacher. And one weirdo teacher is doing just that. And sorry, I lost my place.
That's fine.
yeah.
While you're finding it, good merch idea from Steven in the live chat. Hard Factor margarita glasses for the Lime Gang.
Ooh.
Prescription or
No, like just
I
fun-
might have
fun-
to. I might have to get it and then make a vodka lemonade and send a photograph of
those glasses will work for either drink. Yeah.
Right. But guys, some parents in California don't feel the same way, and they feel like one California teacher, this person, Olivia Garrison, who is a history teacher at Del Oro High School, which means the Gold High School, of the Gold High School. They feel like she's overstepping her boundaries, or they are overstepping their boundaries a tad when it comes to their involvement in their kids' lives. Because behind parents' backs, Olivia is guiding kids and helping them change their gender identity without their parents knowing. Socially
That's not okay without
transitioning
the
them
parents knowing, huh? That's not okay.
while at school. By the way, social transition describes, person adapts the name and pronouns that align with their gender identity rather than the gender they're born with.
Oh, okay.
So one day Michael goes to Olivia's class for some history, but instead of a history lesson, Michael gets an education on how to stuff a bra, comes home and tells you to call him Michelle all of a sudden, and you're like, what the fuck is going on here?
you think that would be lesson one?
That's
How to
lesson
stuff a
one.
bra.
Stuff
How
a
to
bra.
stuff. Hey, second grader, you come here and stuff. I'll teach you how to stuff this
Well,
bra.
this is high school. Luckily, it's not that bad. It's not second grade. Now, Olivia had this to say to the haters who think she's gone way too far in helping these kids. Quote, my job, which is public service, is to protect kids. Sometimes they need protection from their own parents. So the article goes on to say
Who is she to protect the kids? from
Yeah,
their own parents?
that's something you should never really be saying. Like
That statement's
unless there's something like that's been levied against that.
That's not an
specific
insane
parent.
statement for a teacher
Well, okay.
to say.
No, it is.
It is to say about all parents.
Child
It is, Pat,
Protective
to say about all
Services,
parents.
maybe you can say it, but like to make that statement just so like
Shit,
nonchalantly.
sometimes kids need protection from their parents. That's a truth that a teacher faces all the time. Not
Yeah, but
necessarily
you
in this
can't say it
context
that
all the time.
comfortably. It's about that. That can only be a case by case.
You
where
need to
something has
to
been
back
levied
it up with
against
some
that parent.
examples after that, as opposed to being
You
like,
ever seen
you know,
Kindergarten Cop?
yeah.
There you go.
I'm
so
a
the
cop,
article-
you idiot.
So the article goes on to say this is an issue because Title IX reforms under Biden, which would expand regulation combating sex-based discrimination in schools to include a sexual orientation and gender identity, blah, blah, blah. One parent named Jessica Bradshaw of South California, who is, the author points out as a liberal, she said she learned of her 15-year-old social transition after reading their preferred name on a worksheet. So she said, quote, there was never any word from anyone
That
to let us
sucks for
know
her, yeah.
that on
That's
paper
not
and in her
fun.
classroom, our daughter was our son. So this person's living two lives, right? I felt like a parenting stab in the back
She was
from the
doing
school
this
system.
in class,
Right.
totally behind the back, and not even communicating at home, which would be the
Nothing.
responsible thing to do if you were actually trying to help somebody.
You bring in the parents probably first to have the conversation that I think so-and-so might need to have some conversations. They might be questioning some things. She's instead pushing the kids to do it without telling their
Well,
parents.
how do we know that? How do we know the kid just didn't say, hey, I'm writing my name as something different and that's it, right? Like,
it just happens all the time in her class?
I'm sure it happens all the time, especially right now where kids like want to test boundaries and stuff, and who knows. But That could be the case.
She admits that she's actively helping kids in this process
and not telling their parents.
I don't think you're listening to what she's saying, Pat. Which is
no,
I'm going to do it because the parents don't know what they're doing, and I'm going to do it.
And I guess, but she doesn't have the balls to tell the parents.
Right.
I don't know
do
enough.
it in a vacuum behind closed doors.
Right.
I don't know enough about what it is, like what a big thing is, right? Like a big milestone is in that space to know, like, oh, if this is happening, then hey, this is something really serious.
But it's
versus
just
like,
straight wrong what she's doing.
It's a huge step in a person's life to something to do.
Pat,
and
unless she's having these breakthroughs where it's a one-day breakthrough from this to this, then she should bring in the parents. Is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, dude, I agree. I mean, look, I agree with that. If something serious is happening and there's a big change, first thing you do, you got to do that. But I'm just curious. I'm playing devil's advocate.
I understand.
Yeah,
I understand. But I'm just saying she should bring in the parents in a lot of these situations, it seems like.
Right. If she's so proud of what the work she's doing, she should be able to do it in front of the parents.
And she should be able to educate the parents as well, to guide them through the process.
She can't.
That's let me devil's advocate you one more time. Rock in a hard place, right? Because let's say the kids do in fact need this, but if she did go to even one parent, she could be fired, right?
Yeah,
but they
Pat,
do need it.
That would be the responsible thing to do. So she's doing something that she knows she shouldn't do because she can't share it with the parent.
Forcing the kid for this story?
Now she is.
No, listen to this. So the school district where Olivia teaches doesn't give a fuck what the parents call their kids at home.
Wow.
Her high school district allows students to change their preferred name and gender marker without a parent's signature. So the kids are out there living double lives.
Sure.
You drop Tom off at school. He runs in the bathroom. He becomes Tina like Batman. And then before Tina comes home, she becomes Tom again. It's madness. So
if it's just that, if it's just be like, hey, call me Tina, and I got an F, I get an F instead of an
Surely
M.
this isn't going to create a problem with Californians down the road who are confused about shit because of this rule existing now. Surely not.
So this issue is a hot topic that certain states have guidelines and even legislation regarding this very thing. Maryland, California, and New Jersey officially advises teachers and administrators not to disclose a student's social transition to their parents or guardian without permission from the student themselves, which has resulted in lawsuits from parents that say the policy violates their parental rights to their fucking kids. While Alabama, Virginia, and Florida have adopted legislation barring schools from withholding gender identity information from parents or guardians. So, they have one more chance to beat them straight at home.
Well, I think that
we're pulling you out of her class.
That makes sense to me. Is you should be informed. Like if they're going to write on their homework that their pronouns are something different than what you know at home, you should know. Like you should be able to know because it's happened at school.
Look,
so it's interesting because. Oh, go ahead, Wes.
I was going to say the bottom line is experts, psychologists, they say that supported social transition is key for a trans youth's mental health. And if you don't have a supportive parent at home, sometimes there is no other option than the kid says, look, if I tell my dad that I'm transitioning to be a female, he might kill me. Like literally, that might happen.
Totally,
he might disown me.
But then that instance you call CPS.
Case that she's doing here.
It's probably the minority of the cases. Most things that we've experienced in our life and know about, and then even seeing on reality TV shows or any of that stuff, that seems like most parents come around pretty quickly to really anything that their kids are and do, and it makes them happy. So
it depends, man.
I imagine also in this town in California, probably most of them would.
Listen, I've done a few gay weddings where one side of the family just doesn't show up.
That's ridiculous.
Right. Yeah.
Well, here's another thing to think about.
I know that exists, but that doesn't mean that she should do this for every kid in her class. She's obviously taken it too far.
No, she's not doing it for every kid. She's not forcing every kid to transition. What they are doing is saying,
supportive.
If someone comes to them and says, "Hey, I don't have support at home. This is what I'm thinking."
Only in that situation,
but she keeps it secret, right? She doesn't tell the parents, which is wrong. I think that she should inform the parents.
I guarantee she doesn't encourage it. Will
How do you know? You don't know. You're not in the class.
Oh, you know who the
she's
queer
admitting
teacher
to
is,
doing
though.
it. You don't know if she's encouraging it or not. You're not in the class. It's just that the parents should know. This is fucked up.
When you say encouraging, you mean let me say this first. It's something interesting because if you talk to a teacher, right, their number one thing is parental involvement, and they're good parents, right?
Not this teacher.
Parents that care about what the fuck's going on in their kids' space, and they're shitty parents who don't give a fuck and don't check in, and it makes the teacher's life harder. I feel like it's kind of a catch-22, right? Because it's like a good parent would know, because they'd be on it, right? They'd be involved in the first place. A shitty parent who might need support.
You say that now. Wait till the shit that your kid hides from you don't even know. I mean, like, look, what I'm saying is like, the parent shouldn't be having this information withheld from them about their children's pronoun choices by the teacher. It's just wrong, plain fucking wrong.
All I was saying, Will, is
Also-
good parents have an open dialogue where like,
Plain
you'd be
fucking
talking to
wrong.
your
I'm
parent
gonna say,
recently.
I'm gonna say something like this. Peer pressure is always, it's been around. It's bad. Peer pressure should not be involved in someone's sexuality, one way or the other. Bullying them to not be, or encouraging them to be something that they might want to do because their friends are doing it and it's cool to do this now.
Dave.
The pendulum has swung to the point where like that sometimes now the peer pressure is like, maybe I should be confused. Maybe I should change my pronouns. So like it gets to that area where it's like you shouldn't do either. You shouldn't bully gay people. That's ridiculous. And you also shouldn't like maybe encourage someone to be confused if they
At that age,
they
I
wouldn't
don't
have been
know if you should
otherwise.
I don't think I think the encouragement is where it really gets tricky.
Right.
Especially when
The
you're going
issue
behind
is
parents' back.
It's slippery.
It's a
man.
trend.
And what's the
slippery.
age again of these kids?
These are high school
16,
kids.
What's the young? Yeah, so the youngest is like
16,
13.
17.
15. The younger is
15.
just 14 or 15.
Yeah. That's young. That's before kids even know who the fuck they are.
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
I
it's
still don't know who the fuck I am.
not young for that Rick and Morty guy, but it's young for everyone else. Yeah,
I'll tell you what, no one can control, though. There's always going to be people that want to transition, right? That's true from the beginning of time. There is a social
for
trend
sure,
where more
but-
people want to, or want to explore the idea of it when it's more prevalent. So hopefully those kids figure it out, right? And they're like, hey, that was, I didn't know who I was.
But you're
and then the
creating
kids
a
that
worse situation by not communicating that shit to the parent.
Agreed, but the good parent's going to be talking enough where the teacher can be like, "Hey, just so you know, so and so wrote a different name on their thing today," right? Which is
it's making it worse for them down the line. The blow up's going to be even bigger if the parents are kept in the dark, and then they come out and they find that like this other shit's been happening behind their back. They're going to be so upset if they're already in a place where they're going to have a stance against that kind of stuff.
Right.
Anyways, they're going to be even more upset if it's been done.
It's
behind
horrible
their
for
backs.
people that live in a household where their parents aren't accepting of them.
Right. Yeah, it is.
But
Always,
it's also legally they're probably in that household
They're the
unless they're being
guardians.
abused until they're 18. So like you just can't do like encouraging people without these children without having conversations with bringing the parents
I think
in.
she's this person's real goal is giving them a safe space.
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah.
That's fine.
That's
totally
fine, but the way she's saying it is not like she should communicate that. If that's her intent, she should communicate it much clearer and better than what she.
I think the parents should know. Anyway, one last thing. One 2021 study published in the Journal of Adolescent Health found that early social transitions indicated better psychological outcomes, but linked unaccepting school environments to higher risks of suicide or suicidal thoughts. So you transfer the unaccepting school environment to home, you can imagine what that does to a kid.
So I will say we do have a little inside baseball. Colin Phillips, who's everyone knows him on the show, Colin from California. He knows her very well, and he's been going absolutely ham in the live comments. He said he was good friends with her in high school. He tried to have sex with her. It didn't work out for him.
Shut up.
But he said she has a huge heart, and that the story that's being written about her, not by us, but the story that's being written about her is incorrect, and that she's doing it for good reasons.
Yeah, I think she is doing it for good reasons. I honestly do believe that, and I think that it's good. Where the tricky part for me is if she's encouraging a young 14-year-old is
the
different.
encouragement and peer pressure.
lesson learned on how to communicate then, because her statements don't match up with
they might have been cherry
what you're
picked.
saying.
They might.
Do you
they
think
might
she's
have,
like,
they might have been
This
cherry
was a
picked.
New
They
York
might have
Post
cut 'em
article.
off.
Let me just tell
Hey,
you that.
kid.
I'm saying her.
You ever
what
thought
she said
about-
to the paper? Pat,
I don't
what she
know.
said, or
Oh,
what-
yeah, I
what was
know.
in the- yeah.
But they might have not given the full statement where she did give examples of parents that weren't supportive and why the kid needed.
Oh
to
yeah, I
do
mean
it.
there is an example of one girl. This girl Clementine Morales. She told the Times that she went to this teacher. She came out as non-binary because she didn't feel comfortable to do it at home, and she said I had to look for parental figures in other people who were not my parents. And she was thankful that Olivia was there for her. So, I mean, it's very tricky. I mean, obviously, some states think that this is insane to do. Obviously, some states think this is the right way to do it. It looks like it leans more on the religious side of things.
Leaving the
It's a
parents
topic
out
that's
is
been around.
fucking nuts. Purposely leaving the parents out is the start of communism.
I would certainly want to know.
Could you imagine a dad calling the school who didn't know? It's like, hey, when were you going to tell me that Dave's on the drill team?
The state should raise your kids. They know better than you. That's what this is becoming. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. Well, I don't think
Let's,
it's communism. I think she's trying to help the kids in her own way, which is controversial. And
I
may or
think
may not be
she is
correct.
too, and I think it's just it hasn't been
she's not working for the
figured out.
government.
Yeah, how to do it.
She does. She's a
perfectly
teacher.
yet. All right, let's pull up the wheel. On that note, so it's just between Will and I tomorrow, right?
That's right.
Coffee.
I'm on the high five. Send in cat and dog stuff or whatever else. No spider stuff. Thank you. Voicemails, 5-star reviews.
I'm on coffee.
Wes is on coffee. Send in your stuff. Will, you have some stuff you need to send me that's hilarious that you showed us a glimpse of yesterday that I need to put in the high five. If you could kindly text me those. We got some good stuff.
Those for you.
Yeah. So that's gonna do it for the show. Talk to your kids. Find out if they're someone else at school. I guess.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to join
It's
for the
on
high
you.
five
The state will
tomorrow.
never tell you.
Support them.
I'm gonna try to join for the high five tomorrow, but I'm babysitter 'cause it's mom's night out, so I'll probably be on high five.
You can pop in if you want, homie.
Try to pop on in.
Cool.
I want to see what's going on.
All right then. That's gonna do it for the show. We love you. Have a great fucking day.